Good morning. Good morning. Well, today, today I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects in the whole world, bar none. And it is what I put into the definition of what we consider love. I don't know how else to put it to you. I think that it's a good idea to take the word love in this video and pull it apart and break it down into a pie chart. If fear can be broken down into a pie chart, so can love. But I think that it's only, how do I put this? It might be broken down into a pie chart, but even though it's broken down into a pie chart, I still consider it to be one idea. That no matter how far I break down this number one, it stays the number one. It's the only thing that I can find in the universe currently, based on my observations, that can't be broken down. It can only be added to. So we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about this. I want to have a conversation about love. Why not, right? It's a good day for it. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween or whatever, if you believe it, you know. If you're going to do some evil spells tonight, good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor for your death magic and your bullshit, you know. Here's to you. Love. Some people define it as like a feeling, right? An emotion that we get when we become attached to another human being. That is love. That is how you see love. That's how you understand love. That's how you feel love. Is if someone makes you feel a certain way, that an emotional state that you receive by being around another person is what love is. I don't know about that one. It doesn't seem what I consider to be love. That consuming based on an external circumstance or person, place, or thing, that you feel love because of XYZ. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that you can find love, the real love, by being in love with another human being. You know why? Because when we talk love, you know what we don't usually use as a word that coexists with that? Servitude. No one associates a servant with love. So we're going to go into it a little bit. We're going to start right here. This idea that love is between two people. It's like saying God is the common denominator between two people believing in God. Now, maybe I'm crazy, right? And I don't have a really good relationship with a man-made God. Not at all. I'm off the books, you know? I'm out of the book. And because I don't love God, then I'm incapable of loving humans. And I agree with this. Because to love God is to be a servant for God. And I don't disagree that a lot of people believe in God and therefore believe in helping others and being a positive influence. I'm not saying that that's not a version of love. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I don't know anyone in this world that loves somebody by being a servant to them. And you go, what? Wait, I'm not talking slavery. Do any of you have kids? Anybody? Clear in the back, maybe? It's the only way we're going to be able to connect on this. If you ever just, you need to do something for your kids and you love them, and even if it has nothing to do with what you want to do, you do it anyway because you love your kids, not because they need it, but because you actually love your kids. Have you ever experienced that? That's servitude through gratitude. They exist, and I can give them a better experience just by being nice to them, just by using kind words and understanding. They become, they glow. Haven't you ever seen that with your kids? They glow because you complimented them and you're present and you're like, name one human, name one human you do that for. Now name 2. Okay, now name 5. Okay, now name your enemies. Name people you don't know. Tell me how you did the same action for those people you did for your kids. I don't think how we've been taught to love encompasses what love really is. Just because there's edges to it. There's edges in our mind about who we should love and who's worthy of love and all these things that allow us to consume another human being, a person, place, or thing, because it coincides with what we currently love in life. If you love rock and roll, you don't want to date a woman that only likes the opera. You'd want to date a woman that likes rock and roll, right? Or video games. Another terrible one, right? Something most women just can't stand. Can you imagine telling somebody you love them and then doing an action that they can't stand? Do you think that they're going to feel love from that? I don't. I don't think that love can be anything you gain from. I don't think love is a take action. I think it's a give action. If there's a 1 and a 0 for love, I think 0 in love equals taking. Weird way to look at it, right? But I don't think, from my own personal point of view, that the way that love is defined in the world and then force fed to us, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think it's possible to love another person unless you first love yourself. And I mean all the way. Everything about yourself. Things you don't like, the things you do like, the things you're working on changing, the things you refuse to change but you wish were different. All of those constructs in your own mind, to me, those are like the stumbling blocks of love. How can you love yourself if you find satisfaction in self, which is part of self-love, based on work performance, based on how other people talk to you or treat you, based on what you enjoy? I think that love itself, excuse me, isn't actually relationship. I think that self-love is the only relationship where you can practice how to love unconditionally. Because let's be honest with ourselves here. Each one of us, I include myself for my own personal view, have things that make us feel like we're unworthy of love. It's true that we're in somehow, shape, or form not good enough for the observed reaction that we want to see to be considerate love. That someone wants to consume us at all times, and therefore they're in love with us. And because they want to be obsessive and compulsive and all the other things that go with the emotional state of lust, we never get a chance to equate real love. And it's nobody's fault. It's taught so rarely in today's age. Like, the only person that ever showed me unconditional love was my grandma. One of them, not even both of them, just one. And I was a terrible human being at the time that she showed me unconditional love. That's the best part. I was shown you never give up on somebody no matter how bad they treat you. You still give them a hug. You still tell them you love them. And you refuse to quit on them, regardless. And you gain nothing from it. You lose what people consider egotistical views. You have to give up that person shouldn't treat you like that. You have to give up that you own things that person has no right to. You have to give up that the food in your fridge is only for you. You have to give up that your house is your house, that it's whoever needs it because you love them and you have space. Even if it's on the floor, you've got space. You will make it work because that person matters. You will inconvenience the living fuck out of yourself in the hopes of seeing that other person smile. That's unconditional love. Unconditional love is walking into a crack house and threatening every person with a gun in there so you can pull your friend out and get him in the car and get him into rehab. That's real love. Having a dog for 20 years and it's dying of cancer and it's in pain every day. So you take it out back and you shoot it and you bury it. That's actual love. Having absolutely nothing. So you figure out how to give away something that's free, even if it's only words of encouragement. That's real love. That's real love. And I've seen this in observing life the way that I've lived it, that love seems to exist the less people own things. That's why I quit owning things. I don't know how else to express that to you. It started out as like thinking that people that had a bunch were really arrogant, that they talked to people differently, they acted differently, and beautiful people, you know, that were really, really handsome or really, really pretty. It seemed like they were the farthest away from love too, because it was so superficial. It was like this love based on a truth that time was going to change. When I first got my face tattoo, it was just this top part here. This is giant teardrop. And when I got it, the first 3 months were probably the craziest transitional periods of my life. I've been through some things. I've been through prison, rehabs, wars, real ones. But I never experienced quite an emotional traumatization as the one that I achieved by getting my face tattooed. I hated it. I hated it. I felt like I'd trapped myself. I felt like I'd put myself in a bracket of humanity that I'd never been in before. That I had made myself less than I really was based on an external validation. It was bad. And I remember knowing that I was handsome and watching someone that I considered not even full of love. Like, I just want to get laid. Let's just be honest with each other here. Like, you never been in a situation where you just wanted to get laid? And I got shit on verbally. in front of a bunch of people because trash like me had no right to talk to a person like that because I had a face tattoo. Not that I'm kind and considerate and well spoken and deep thinking. I was trash with a face tattoo. I leaned into that for like a year. I acted very inconsiderate of other people because I felt that I was entitled, based on how other people were treating me, to be an absolute fucking terror in the world. And so began my journey of self-love. Like real self-love. Like, you know what's funny though? As soon as I fell in love with my tattoo, I fell out of love with a bunch of aspects of myself as a human being. That's where it gets hard, right? You don't like something about yourself. And instead of showing yourself real love, you just lean into whatever it is. And you're like, well, this is just who I am now. This is just how I act. This is just what I do. And on you go down the track, right? You know who told me they love my face tattoo more than life itself? When I was my daughter. You know, like from the time my daughter was 3 until just like last year. So for almost 6 years, my daughter, my sweet daughter, has been the biggest advocate for me to leave my tattoo on my face. No matter how I felt, no matter what I had to say, she was right there like, I love your face tattoo. Please don't change it, Dad. I love it. You can't argue with the redhead. Then I got more done. I got the rest of this. I changed what it was into what it is now. And when I changed it, the people that did like my face tattoo no longer liked my face tattoo. And the people associated with that face tattoo, none of them loved themselves at all. And it was almost like I'd created a representation of why not to love yourself and then excluded that into the world with the intent to like fuck the world. My daughter taught me something about self-love. She reminded me that no matter how I look, who I am is amazing. That's why she tells me I'm the best dad in the world, because who I am as a human being shows way through any ink on my body, any missing front tooth, anything. None of it matters. It literally only matters how you treat someone. I have 9 years, almost 10 years now, of a social experiment where despite how I look and how anyone else views me, because I continue to act out of self-love, my kids love me with all their hearts. I have a complete, successful scientific study on cause and effect when you only use positivity to create a relationship with someone. Perfect track record. My kids feel guilty when they lie to me and they come and tell me the truth. Can you believe that? Because they know they're not going to get in trouble, that we're going to talk about it, that the actions they're doing are the problem, not that they're hiding it from me. The problem isn't that you lied to me. The problem is now we can't communicate and I want to talk about it. So let's talk about it. That love trap where they know at any point in time, if they need to, they can just fall into love and get unlimited, unconditional love, regardless of the situation is, and they can feel heard and maybe even get some advice. That's the end result of unconditional love. That's the end result of not giving up on being a servant. Servitude and love. Isn't that weird that I equate the two together? But don't you feel loved when somebody waits on you? When somebody does something for you that you didn't expect? A pleasant surprise? When someone just walks up and gives you a hug and holds you until you can feel that hug? Don't you feel love? So is love an emotion or a constructed thing that we have to work at daily? Is love easy or is it hard? You see? I think, and I don't know, because this is a continual social construct that I'm building day by day. And it's getting easier, just like I thought. Remember, don't forget, I said that it takes 61 days to change, take in or take out a habit. 61 days psychologically. I'm like week 3 right now. When I first started, I didn't love this. I didn't love this at all. I didn't even kind of like this. Now, before I go to bed at night, I'm already thinking about what it is that I want to expand upon the next morning. I'm like, get up in the morning and all I want to do is sit here and make a video and share with someone, even if nobody else watched. That if I continue to document this mindset, that if I create it for 61 days, it's real for everyone. It became truth. Love. The idea of love. I want to hear somebody else's opinion about it, because I think that love is found when all you have to give is your time. If you give somebody resources, I'm under the impression and opinion that if we all work together as human beings, we wouldn't have a resource problem at all. Not a homeless problem, nothing. We wouldn't, nobody be hungry. It's just this weird thing about statistics that I continually go out of my way to memorize mass amounts of, so I have basis to speak on. It's almost like I could write a book on where the resources are, how to redistribute them, how not to destroy society, how to fix all the little stupid things that are causing people just to get out of survival mode. I don't have answers for the world, but I definitely could show anyone that ever wanted to listen how we could fix the resource distribution so everybody has enough. I really think that you could fix the whole world if everybody just had food and shelter for 61 days. I think on day 62, the world would change. Just by bringing up the bottom of society. Everybody gets food, everybody gets clean water, everybody's got clothes, everybody's got a fucking place to live that no one can kick them out of. Period. I think that very simple plan, done in servitude with the unconditional love, to understand that everyone deserves basics because they're alive. Not you gotta fucking pay because you're alive. What? You telling me when I'm born, I gotta make a paycheck until I die. And that is reality. Not that we could use our current knowledge and technology to make sure that everybody's at a certain level, so there's a level of stress that no longer exists in the world and people are less likely to do insane things based on a lack of. I really think you could fix the whole world, just a few upgrades. Nothing serious. No second coming. Just a couple little things, And I reach that view with unconditional love of human beings. Do I love some of the things that people do? No. Have I done some of those things? Fuck yeah. Have I sat out there and fucking self-harmed and tried to kill myself and been a terrible waste to humanity? And I don't mean like I tried to put a gum in my mouth. I sure did drugs for a long time. That's suicidal. I didn't do healthy things to make my body be healthy. That's suicidal, even if it's the long death. You know what smoking cigarettes for 20 years will do? Kill you. That can be considered suicidal. If you know 100% of the time that cigarettes will eventually kill you and you still smoke, you can't tell me that's not suicidal fucking actions. It's suicidal. I think it's suicidal to run away from love, to run away from helping those around you. Sometimes helping those around you is just telling a joke. Unconditional love can be telling a joke in the rain with your buddies while you're all sitting there trying to scrounge up change to get a bottle so you can feel better. All of those negatives and all that shit, telling a joke in that circumstance is considered unconditional love. Argue with me. The joke itself and expressing something other than the sadness and pain that you're currently living in. There is no place that love is not. That's my argument behind the philosophy. There's no place in this world that is not love, that does not have the potential to be greater than it currently is. You like that? You like that? And here's the other side of it. I have unconditional love for the world. I don't care what you think of me. I don't care if you think I try to divide, or it doesn't matter how you feel. Every action I do is in service of something I think will benefit humanity. I'll spend 6 months doing a painting and give it away and make no money for myself. But I'll spend 6 months making that painting, and when I see that smile that blows my mind that I gave someone based on my creation, here, have it. That's your painting. That's servitude. That's not doing anything for money. Do I do things for money? Well, sometimes I cut wood stakes. I'm a carpenter. I used to be a welder. Now I'm a carpenter. So I'll build little things. I built my mom some really nice flower boxes. You go, flower box? Yeah, it was slats on it and everything. Real nice. I know how to run a tape measure and an angle and chop saw and stuff. And grinder and all those things. So I make stuff that's useful for people. Concrete stakes. That's a big one for concrete forms. You know, I think maybe I made $2,000 over the last 2.5 years making concrete stakes. So have I made enough money to support myself? No. Nope. I have not. And tell me I should. I know. I know. I know. I'm doing these paintings now. And I may never sell a single one of them. But I'm doing them. So technically I'm doing something that could generate money for myself. I could. But how do you equate smiles with money? I don't know how to do that part. I don't know how to go from unconditional love to conditional love. I don't know how to jump that gap into being an artist where to enjoy my art, you have to pay me for it. That somehow the unique gift I have deserves compensation. That the creation itself wasn't the payment. I don't know how to explain that to you. It doesn't sound like love. And it's not like I do bad art. Watch, I'm going to show you. I've been sitting here staring at it the whole time. It's right in my face because we turned a corner yesterday on this piece, and now it's starting to be present. And by it being present, it's changing what exists. And like, I'll just show you, I guess. Maybe at some point I'll do a separate channel or another part of this channel, and I'm just gonna paint, and you can just watch me paint. You know, I don't think I'm Bob Ross. I'm not gonna talk about happy little trees. I don't know. Love. So this is the first part in the series about love. This is the very first video. There's a lot that I want to unpack. There's a lot of analogies and different ways to view it that I think are important, and I'm just going to randomly drop it in. So this will be like, what is love part 1 or some nonsense. But we digress. I think that you listening to my videos is love. These videos aren't for me to tell you that I'm better or I got it figured out. And it's made me rich, and it's made me happy, and it's made me. I can only promise you that I wake up in the morning and there's no self hate. And every day I work really hard on finding new things that I didn't like and accepting them as part of just what is without needing to put my ego into an opinion about them. It's a constant working process, and the world's always changing. So there's always new things to view and observe and fit into or get rid of in your life, right? So anyway, I just want to show you a piece of my art. I guess it's time to like be like, hey, check this out. Now all my art, it's multi-spectrum. When you change red, green, blue, yellow, orange, red, when you do the light spectrum of my art, the way that I do colors changes what color you see based on the light spectrum. It's all black light reactive. It's all 3D. You can put chroma depth glasses on and it becomes 3D and you've never seen it before. I blow people's minds on the daily with it. Anyway, without further ado, here is a piece of my art. And I don't know what you can see, how much you can see, the ideas behind the layers of color, an idea, just, you know, just where the sidewalk ends. And this piece is an expression of things that I see wrong in the world, and I wanted to immortalize as concepts in the hopes that somebody else could like explain to me what the fuck is going on, right? That's what these videos are about, and that's what my art's about, is trying to put to a picture what I'm feeling. And I have other art. I had a bunch of cool art. I just I gotta be honest with you. If you wanted a piece of my art, you have to come hang out with me for like 6 months, convince me who you are as a human being before I'd even decide to sell you a piece of my art. Like, it's a part of me. It's a part of my endless joy and my view into the world. It's more than the concept of something you can buy. It's an experience. And to own a piece of my soul, well, my soul only hangs out with other good souls. I only exist in bubbles of time where unconditional love is possible. Fuck, I even took this shit to Burning Man this year. And I don't think It's between you, me, and God. I don't even think. I think like 5 or 6 people asked me for my numbers because they wanted to buy my art. Right? Is it fucked up that I didn't give any of them my real number?